Hi, welcome to Inside the Moms Club, where being a mom is the coolest place to be. Here in the Moms Club, we believe that what embarrasses you now will make a great story later. And let's face it, you don't laugh sometimes, you're gonna cry. Join us in having a good laugh together. I'm Monica Samuels. You are now inside the Moms Club, your private destination for all things mom. Welcome, moms. Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. I'm Monica Samuels, your host, and I'm here today with Julie Orchid, my co-host.
Hi.
Hey, Julie. It's so great to be here with you. And you just got back from a
New York
trip
City.
in New York City.
I won't sing. I'll spare you.
Well, okay, thank you.
Yes.
I won't either, so that'll be good for both of us.
I do have a microphone, so I'll spare
That'll
you.
be good for both of us. So how was it? And I heard you saw Elton John, or you had the opportunity?
Okay, so this is a quick story. My child begged me to see Wicked, and I was like, oh boy. So, not that I don't think it's an amazing show, but Elton John was opening at the Saks Fifth Avenue on the street, like free, like where I could have put her on my shoulders. You know, as a 15-year-old, she just didn't get it. And it was her trip. So I did the mom thing. Wicked.
She skipped Elton John on the street.
Yeah. It still stings. It still stings. But Wicked was amazing.
I bet it was. I've seen it. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
And so you also, I imagine you went shopping because that's the thing to do in New York and with your daughter. I mean, this is the time. She's in high school, so don't you have to get...
it's painful.
Homecoming
the shopping
dresses,
for a female
prom
in
dress.
high school, because, these kids, they definitely, we got to have the right thing, the right clothes, and social media. But
yeah.
it was hot shopping. So... I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's a bigger thing now than it was when I was younger, because you'd have to dress nice because you took one big picture.
Right.
That would sit in your parents' living room somewhere, but not because it was going to be seen by all your friends and 100,000 people on TikTok, and who knew who else was going to see it.
Right. And I have a child who, I have two girls, so it's a double whammy. And I have one that just takes an enormous amount of time to get ready. So... yeah.
And it has to be kind of expensive, too, especially when you went to New York.
Well, the cost is exorbitant. I mean, so it has endless amounts if you let it be. But, you want them to feel good. You want them to feel confident. So we had a great time shopping.
Well, I have boys. I still have boys. And, that's easier.
Right.
Because when you're shopping for a boy, it's not as big a deal, except in my house, because my husband... loves to shop and is totally into clothes. So
that's an understatement. Totally into clothes. Yeah.
So when my youngest son was 3, my husband got a brown velvet jacket. It was $300.
Yeah.
For a 3-year-old to wear.
For a 3-year-old.
So we decided that would be used for a photo that we had taken with a super expensive, very well-known photographer. So it's forever memorialized on the wall.
Well, yeah. When I walk into your home, it's right there.
You see
so
that
the jacket was
a
good use.
It was a great jacket, but he wore it
one time.
Because what 3-year-old is going to walk around in a if he had, I guess that would have said a lot about his future if he'd been wanting to wear that brown jacket the rest of his life. And then
a singer.
That's right. He could be a good entertainer. Then my oldest son. My husband bought him a herringbone suit. Now, you have to understand, when he was 6, you have to understand that at the school where our kids go to school, every year or every special event, like lessons and carols, and they have special events, the boys have to wear navy blazers with khaki pants. My husband decided, we can't have him dressed like that, like everybody else. So he's 6 years old, first grade, he gets him a herringbone suit. It was an amazing suit. He looked tremendous in it. And he really stood out there at Lessons and Carols up there on the stage.
I'm sure he stood out.
He did. Yeah. And then later, about a few months later, my husband's like, well, where's that herringbone suit? Because that was not cheap. And it was lost.
Wadded in a ball somewhere.
It was lost for years.
For years?
It was found when we were moving. It was behind a piece of furniture. Right. So we're pretty sure that Jared was like, no way am I going to wear that thing again. And he looked great. I mean, it was a great suit.
Right.
But for a 6-year-old, that was not
I'm sure the kids were not too friendly about the herringbone suit versus.
Yeah, that may have been what happened to him on that one, but it was nice looking. But yes, that's what happened there. So it is challenging because you want your kids to look great in special occasions. I mean, that's really important.
Oh, looking back, I mean, for girls, you got to buy dresses, and you buy dresses for one time, and so you got to think about that, and they can be costly.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
And wasteful.
And it goes on through your life, too, because let's face it, when you buy an evening gown to go to a special event, you can't wear it again. I mean, you could, but it's, then people, at least where we're from, they could start, did you see that dress?
William's
she
wife,
had it
Kate,
on
has
such and such.
worn her outfits a couple times.
That's true. She's setting the example.
She's setting a good example.
Well, we are thrilled that we have here in our studio someone she's a genius, actually, because what you're talking about, I mean, think
how
of the
wasteful
money
it can be.
Well, think of all the money that could have been made on that brown velvet jacket. Think of how many young 3-year-olds
could be wearing the
could have
brown
had a
velvet
great
jacket.
picture in that jacket that only was worn one time.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit about our guest. She was a primary care physician, and she segued into a new career as the CEO of Stylette, which is considered the Rent the Runway for kids. Stylette is the first curated rental platform for high-end kids wear, and it makes dressing your family sustainable and cost-effective. Stylette's motto is amazing. It's fashion for our children, passion for our planet. Please welcome Sheena Jongeneel.
Yes.
Welcome to the Mom
Welcome,
Club,
Sheena.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're so thrilled you're here. And like we've said, when we heard this concept, you're like, oh my gosh, what an amazing, that's just genius. Because, I said that about the evening gown. The truth is, you could wear that again sometime maybe. But a kid, usually it's a big event, like it's a family event. They want to take a special picture or something, and you all run out. Or, Easter Sunday or whatever, and you spend a lot of money, and that's it. And then you don't know what to do
Well,
with
with children, they're growing every second. We're adults, we tend to stay the same size, but kids are growing every few months. So really, truly, it's a waste in that regard as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So tell us how you came about.
Yeah.
I came up with the idea. So, starting from the beginning, I'm a licensed acupuncturist, and I one day just wanted to change careers. I was in health and wellness for 22 years, so quite a while. And I went through some personal, I got divorced and my mom passed. And so I just wanted a pivot in my life. And I went back to school to get my MBA, and just being in school as a single mom with a young daughter and going through my personal pain points with her and just how quickly she was outgrowing her clothes. And these clothes would end up in the closet or behind the bed or behind the sofa. And then I felt like I was a hoarder, just holding on to her cute outfits she'd worn. It's a sentimental attachment as well.
Yes.
So going through those emotional pain points, I came up with Stylette at school, and I used it as my school project for all my classes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
I
that was
didn't know
fun.
this.
Yes.
So was the epiphany now, was there a special event that suddenly you saw, wait, I have an idea. Was there a certain moment, not just like you saw clothes around, but you...
Like you saw need.
I think it was a prelude just with my daughter, but also at that time, it was that aha moment where my neighbor had asked to borrow my daughter's ski clothes for her little boy.
Yeah.
So it was a gender neutral outfit my daughter had. I let her borrow them, and that was the point where I thought we must have a platform where parents can come and rent their kids' clothing, whether it's for special occasions, everyday looks, ski wear. It's winter, let's rent our jackets and our sweaters and scarves. So that was the aha moment I had.
So do a lot of people purchase? Because, you can purchase, like, with Rent the Runway.
Correct.
But do you see that more, or do they send it back, or how?
We definitely have more rentals than purchase. We do offer the availability to buy retail if they wish, but most people are renting.
So you started this when you were getting your MBA.
Correct.
As a project. So how did you segue into, now I'm going to go for it?
So I actually started, I pitched one investor while I was in school. I can't say about it. We're here. I was going to say like for shits and giggles.
It's fine. I never cuss. I never cuss at all.
Yeah, You've so offended Julie.
I
but
mean,
It's a podcast for moms who need a laugh. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a
cuss
good
word
one.
always
You're
as a mom.
No, you're
it's
right.
gonna
You're right.
slip
we would
out.
worry if you didn't. So go ahead.
So I, during school, I went and pitched an investor just to see what would happen. And I actually got a check, which is unbelievable. And I feel so blessed. And that just sort of allowed, it was a segue to be able to buy inventory and to build a website to get the platform up and running.
Sheena, you're a genius. Like that is like you took a chance, you pitched, and you got an investor, and it allowed you to start something that is meaningful. I mean, talk to us a little bit about the planet and how I was fascinated with the waste, and the overconsumption. So tell our listeners a little bit about that.
So speaking of that aha moment, it was also being in economics class and hearing about the landfills and our waste. And at that point, I think China had stopped taking our waste. And it's just really an issue. And I believe I forgot the actual number. I have it down, but the textiles that's in the landfills is immense. It's it's mostly clothing, so truly a waste.
It feels kind of gross.
It's gross. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. So,
So when you're doing this, you got the investor. I mean, there's always in business, because a lot of moms, the mompreneurs, the women who decided we're going to start a business, it's challenging.
So challenging.
And so there's a few setbacks in most of those, but you keep going. You've been successful. So tell us, were there any challenges along the way, or what were they, and how do you overcome those?
It's still from day one, even just deciding to go back and get my MBA. I was discouraged by my entire family, my friends. Even personally, my family said, "Don't do it. You're a single mom. You already have a career. You have a trade. You have a business. Why would you do this? You have responsibilities." So no one was supportive of that. I went ahead and pushed forward, and it was definitely tough to be in school with a 3-year-old.
So why, despite all that, why did you? Because deep down, what made you want to do that? Was it wanted to change your?
I had a moment internally where I just felt that I needed to change and pivot what I was doing. I'd done it for so long. I did it for 22 years. Yeah. And going through my emotional trauma, divorce, and my mom's death really sort of gets you to reflect on what you're doing in life. And are you happy? Is there more you want to do? Is there something else for you? And going through those traumatic experiences made me realize that I wanted to create something different in my life and leave a legacy for my daughter and build. I knew I wanted to build a company. I didn't know what it was going to be in, but I knew that it was this energetic internally that just kept pushing me forward. And you have to listen to your gut, your heart, and people will discourage you. You got to find those people who are going to support you.
Right.
And look, and you've succeeded. You did it. You got your MBA, and you have a great, successful business. And so you've proven that sometimes that's what you have to do.
Yes. It's not an easy, especially being not an entrepreneur, a mompreneur. It's definitely a tough journey.
And as a single mom with, you just said, a 3-year-old going to school and doing this. So how do you manage the 3-year-old? How
my goodness.
How does that work?
I still have mom guilt. She got a couple cavities because truly I was on my phone calls at nighttime with my group. It's from my MBA program. Yeah. So I taught her how to put herself to sleep and you got to brush your teeth. Really,
right. You need to be an adult at 3. I need you to be an adult at 3. Yeah, so, we all do that to our kids.
Actually,
we're like, hey, we need you to act like an adult right now. Everything I'm telling you to do, I just don't get why you can't do it. I mean, it's really on us.
Although if you know how to teach kids to do those things, every mom would love to.
You have another business.
Yeah, you might want to write
business.
We'll talk afterwards because I wrote a book. You might want to write a book about that. Yeah. Hey, here's how you put your kid to sleep. Or do they put themselves to sleep? I mean, that's awesome.
Your dental bills will be high.
Well, the brushing the teeth. Yeah, well, you might want to, brush up a little. No pun intended on that skill. But it seems like you did some good things there with your with a 3-year-old.
Well, now I see she's such a wonderful child. She's 8 years old now. She's very independent. She's a straight A student. So I feel that these lessons did sort of transpire in who she is as a human, and maybe she needs to have a little more fun. She's very independent, but I had no choice, right? And it's for us, it's for our future, and you're looking at the big picture.
Right.
So do you incorporate, some parents, when we've talked to these moms who've had businesses, they bring their kids into the process.
Yes.
So and this is particularly relevant to her. So Are you teaching her the ropes as far as
Oh my gosh.
Stylette?
Yes. Gosh, I hope this is not like child abuse. What I'm about to say.
No, you're giving her wings.
Well,
You're
first of
giving
all,
her wings.
we will
like,
have
you're
it-
teaching her.
Well,
as long as
for a
she's not a
moment,
hoarder.
this
And
is-
yeah.
This is my disclaimer. I am an attorney by trade. So just so you know, anything...
Safe space, right?
Safe space. Safe
Yes,
space.
safe space. And everything she's saying, she says she allegedly does it. She's
That's
not
right.
saying for sure that she
We
does it.
won't
Okay,
know. We would have to
go
ask my
ahead. Let's hear
daughter.
it.
No, well, as of late, I did teach my daughter how to get on Shopify, which is our platform
Yes.
on the website. And she wanted to. She asked. And so she goes in there and encodes the product, and she knows how to log in and make sure all the product is active on all the channels, social media, Google. So she...
That's great.
That's
no,
child
wait, that's
abuse.
great.
Yeah.
No, wait, that's great. That's really good. That's not child abuse. No, I thought
You're like
you
our
were.
vice president of the
I thought
company
you were
is
gonna
8 years
say-
old.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say she's back in the back mending the clothes, or no. So that's why we had to stop for that.
Technology, when it's technology, it's
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
It's
As long as
not
she
a-
doesn't,
this
like-
is
As
not
long as it's not a sweatshop, no.
Yeah. You,
And
are,
as long as
you
there's
and
some
I are thinking the same thing. Yeah.
parental controls on some of the stuff online. But other than that, I'm sure she's
Completely.
she's doing
Shopify, it's all
good.
kids' clothing, we're good.
Yeah.
So all that aside, I have one quick question for you.
Yes.
So I was in the health field. I still am in the health field, but I took a break. I also got a divorce, and I have 2 daughters, and they're older now, but it still takes a lot of time. I think sometimes people say your kids actually need you a little bit more when they're older because they're trying to find their own way. And so my question to you is, and I think a lot of women may have it, is where did you cross that fear base into go and jump and do this? A lot of women, I think, are being controlled by what society tells them to do and what you should do. Kind of like what you said is like, I'm not getting the support I need. And a lot of women are asking other people's opinion. Where did you get the courage to jump and do it?
That is something that I go through every single day, is having that courage. Even to today, I'm discouraged by, an ex-husband
Sure.
or family members. It's not easy. You just have to have faith and confidence in your vision and know that once you start something, you just have to move forward and keep moving.
Yeah.
And you'll succeed. If you ever doubt yourself, it sets you back.
Right.
So just learning, for me personally, I meditate a lot.
Yeah.
That helps with my doubts because they definitely creep up in my mind and my
Sure.
brain, especially with all the pressure, like people saying, when's we're fundraising right now, and like you get the no's, and it's tough. So you have to personally, I think, just write in a journal or meditate. Really be confident with yourself.
Yeah. Trust in
Yeah.
your own decision.
Trusting your decision, and
Love it.
don't look back, because if you look back, it's all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forward, my friend. Forward.
Oh yes.
So what is in terms of, I'm just fascinated by the rental clothing economy, how people, just making that change from the environmental standpoint. I absolutely love your motto, fashion for our children, passion for our
Passion for
planet.
our
That's
planet.
amazing.
I came up with that line.
I love
That's
it.
the
I
school.
love it. It's great. That's why I think you should write that
I'm
book.
sure your professor was like this. She nailed this project.
Well, I'm sure she. Yeah, I hope you got
mean-
an A. I've heard of I've heard of some businesses like in business school where I got a C on that.
Yeah.
and I now have, Apple or whatever. It's.
Well, what's
so-
funny, we had like an advisor for our cohorts, and the ongoing joke, we had like an awards at the end when we graduated, and the ongoing joke from the beginning was, oh, Sheena's going to walk down the not the aisle, down
The runway.
the runway,
Yeah.
for her diploma in like Lululemon, because she's like health and wellness. Everyone was corporate in suits, and I would come in my health and wellness,
Yeah.
casual.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, I was the one who actually raised funds for a company, started a company while everyone else was still, like wanting to come up with a new startup.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's funny how that switched at the end.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So, do you see this as how's it grown? I think earlier before we started the show, you were talking about how it's really big in the South. Where do you see this growing, or how do you see your business develop?
Yeah, we get a lot of traction from the South. I think people there have more family events and love to dress up. And like you were saying, to your point, they really are paying attention to the fashion and what they're wearing. They don't want to wear it twice. And I hate to say this, but even with social media, the kids are starting early, right? they all mostly have accounts on Instagram. So with the prevalence of social media, kids are also hyper vigilant, aware of what they're wearing, and they don't want to wear it again. And truly, my daughter wore something for Thanksgiving when she was 4 and didn't want to wear it again because she knew that was like her Thanksgiving outfit and she wanted something different.
Yeah. This is a great way to allow them to have both options. Yeah, for sure. I mean, wow.
No, it's terrific. Well, we have with us some Zoomer moms are here to ask you some questions about your amazing business. So welcome, Zoomer moms.
Hello.
Hello, ladies. Let's start. Introduce yourself. Let's start with Leslie. Leslie, welcome into the Moms Club. Tell Sheena a little bit about yourself.
I'm Leslie Harrell. I live in Austin, Texas. I have a daughter who is a junior at the University of Texas and a son that's a senior in high school. And hopefully, fingers crossed, getting into a college somewhere.
We'll have to be well dressed for that. So do you have any questions for Sheena?
I do. I mean, it's so funny that you're telling the story, like being friendly for the planet, because I have kind of a funny story about that. So my best friend from high school, her dad is moving out of the house and she has her wedding dress in the house. And he's like, you have to get rid of this wedding dress. And so to your point of like the landfills and the clothing and just the, the extra, you're focused on the kids thing, which obviously is a huge market. And because kids grow and change, and I used to do that all the time. I would take my daughter and son's clothes because I would buy them a couple of nice things. And then I would take them to consignment stores just so that kids could wear them again. Because like you said, they wear them for 20 minutes and then it's gone. Have you ever thought about expanding it a little bit further into from the planet perspective, expanding any further into some other areas where clothes are just not getting used? I mean, they're trying to do some creative things with old wedding dresses and those types of things. But like, have you dipped in that or thought about that at all?
Definitely. So we're doing resale as well. So we're taking items from parents that their kids no longer wear to put back on our platform. We just started that. It's been more of a grassroots, organic, but even during COVID, I have a friend who works at California Closets. So a lot of people were remodeling and, like you said, finding clothes behind pieces of furniture.
I remodeled my closet during COVID.
So we're definitely collecting clothing from families to put back on the platform.
There's a huge push out there now between, it's really kind of stunning. I mean, kids, my daughter's age, spend a lot of time in thrift stores and in resale shops. And so it's really kind of fascinating. And so you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, your market definitely is more, higher end clothes and moving forward with that. But it doesn't change the fact that, that there's a market. I mean, we couldn't find anybody to take this wedding dress. And you're like, here's this beautiful wedding dress. I don't remember, it was satin or whatever, but it was pretty and simple and this beautiful material in good shape because everybody in our age preserved them and boxed them and all this crap. And then you're sort of like, and I've got mine. I found mine like 3 months ago. And I'm going
in the garage.
I'm gonna have to stick it in the dumpster somewhere eventually. And it's intricate,
That's what happens. People get frustrated and they're like, I hope no one's looking. I hope my neighbors aren't watching as I put this in the trash bin.
I know, it is kind of interesting. Yeah, actually,
I have a photo that looks like it looks like because it's in a giant bag and we're sticking it into one of those like clothes recycle things in Dallas. And it literally, my friend, we took a picture. She and I were stuffing it in. Her boyfriend took a picture of it. Stuffing a dead body.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly. I was like, Leslie, this is probably on video, my love.
Yeah, you're lucky you weren't arrested.
I feel like neighbors should be reporting neighbors who are throwing away clothing.
Not a dead body. I'm like,
This is a wedding dress. Yeah, you know what? And I think about it. So I have 2 sons. So I have my wedding dress and the top of my wedding cake, which what's going to happen to that?
Wow.
That's a traditional thing in the South, too, is you save that. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it, but we have
I think you were supposed to eat it your first anniversary.
Oh, I was?
I mean, haven't you been married for like 25 years or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm not going to eat it now.
You can throw that away now.
It's obviously worse for you.
That falls in the hoarding category.
Yeah. From a health perspective, that's not a good idea. I have a question. So logistically, how does this all work? I mean, do you have a big warehouse? Because I've always wondered if I were to rent the runway, and I've never done it, although I've thought about it.
I love that. Walk us
just
through this.
Said, how does it work?
Tell
Not
us
to
how
give
it
away any of your
works.
trade
The
secrets.
reverse logistics.
Yes, please.
Yes, so we are in a warehouse. The way it works, so right now we're offering 5-day and 10-day rentals a la carte. So it's a one-time rental, more special occasions, but we definitely are going to scale with every day in the subscription box.
Okay.
How it works, so we ship, easy shipping, easy returns. The reverse logistics part, we get the item back, we dry clean it, we store it back, and then it's ready for shipment again. We're in a warehouse.
And if I can ask, what is your dry cleaning run when you get items back? I'm just, from a business perspective, I'm just curious, the whole cost. You know what I mean?
It's $2 per unit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, you've negotiated
There you go.
a good deal. So what happens when, do you ever have damages or losses? Or I'm sure you have
We
things like
offer
that.
insurance for an extra $5. Most all
Is it
parents,
grape juice insurance or something?
Well, yeah, for kids' clothes, you don't know what you might get back.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, families really care and take care of the items. I don't know if it's because they know that they're renting it, so there's more care to a piece of clothing, but nothing really comes back ruined. Everything's pristine. One time there was some cake on a dress, which came off easily.
Yeah.
I mean, this is true. I take better care of my leased vehicle than I ever did my one that I own.
Right? Yes.
Well, yeah, that's how it goes.
It's like when you
sometimes.
babysit a child, or like you're taking care of your daughter's friend. You're like much more on than it's.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're like not on my watch.
That's right.
That
I
is
gotta
so
give you
true.
back.
Well, Elizabeth, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell Sheena a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question?
Yes, I'm Elizabeth Kennedy, and I'm from Orange County, California. And first of all, I want to say I think your idea is so amazing. I love it because I have had the same response to my 10-year-old daughter wearing something one time and then saying, okay, Mom, I'm never going to wear this again. So I think it's so great what you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm also a student. I am going to school right now, and I'm wondering if you have any advice for that single mom who is juggling so much. What did you have like an external support group that helped you, maybe some family that helped you when you were going to school, or do you have any tips or tricks for kind of juggling everything at once?
Well, first of all, congratulations. I love what you're doing. It's so impressive as a single mom. Going back to school. I'm here for you anytime you want to reach out. I would love to offline support
That's
each
awesome.
other.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, what a
that's
beautiful
great.
friendship, I think, that just happened in
great.
California.
That is great.
And I love
Absolutely.
Orange County. I used to live there. So
Yeah.
I will come
Oh,
to
wow.
you.
Oh, that's terrific. Yes, I would love to do that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Coffee date.
Yeah.
Yes,
cocktail.
We'll find some men
Moms
too.
Club. So we're all part of the Moms Club. So
There you go.
we're all
Yes, I
together
love
here.
it.
So awesome.
Awesome.
So in regards to your answer, or an answer for your question, like we mentioned, incorporating your kids into what you're doing, I think, is the most important, so they don't feel left out. While in school, I would practice my pitch. Not my pitch decks, that's now, but we would always have PowerPoint presentations. I would practice with my daughters. So I would set the computer in front of her, tell her what it was for, and go through it with her. So she was part and felt like we were hanging out and playing. And just finding those moments where you can incorporate your kids into what you're doing and always communicating with them about class and what you're learning.
Monica does that with me.
I like that.
Yeah, so I don't feel left out. She includes me in her presentation.
I
And
do. Yeah, my child over here.
I do. I feel included. So
I
What are you
That is
studying,
awesome. I love
Elizabeth?
that. And I want to say too that I think it's wonderful that you did things that helped your child to become, grown up, because isn't that what we're doing? We're trying to raise
Yes.
kids into responsible and productive adults. So I think what you've done is amazing.
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Your child is going to be. She's going to do great. She's going to already have her MBA before she. I mean, like, yes, here's my PowerPoint presentation to my second grade class. It's like
She knows what evaluation is. She
Yeah.
knows what fundraising is, angel investors, VCs.
Yeah.
Well, will it
Her
disappoint?
P&L, strong.
Will it disappoint you
Well,
that
we're
if
not
she
quite
says-
there yet.
What if,
Okay.
I have to strengthen my own knowledge on that.
what if
Yeah,
she
exactly.
says, "I think I want to be a doctor"?
I would
You're
support
good with
that.
that? Yeah, I would think so.
Absolutely.
she's-
Whatever she wants to do.
Just teaching her to be inquisitive and learn to do big things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jennifer, welcome to the
Hello,
Moms
everyone.
Club. Tell Sheena a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question?
Yes. So I'm a mom of two from Austin, Texas, and I have a boy and a girl. So I've been through the fashion struggles with both genders. And I'm very sad that they've aged out of your company because no one has mentioned this yet. But, I come from a design background and I'm a designer and the clothes are amazing. I mean, one of my favorite things about your business, and I appreciate what you're doing for the planet and I appreciate what you're doing for all those moms out there, but the clothes are really interesting. They're much better than what you can find most places. I'm dying to know, are you a designer? Where are you getting these clothes? Because they're unbelievable.
It's called hustling. I'm not a designer. I actually took me 6 months or a little longer to build these relationships. It was a lot of cold calling, cold email. I didn't come from the fashion space. So for me, it was starting from scratch. So I went to the trade shows right before COVID hit. Unfortunately, I only hit a couple of trade shows, but just meeting designers and really selling them on the idea of supplying us as a rental company. It was not easy. I got a lot of no's until finally one supplier said yes, and then the rest followed suit. So
referral,
yeah. So that was hard. But I love fashion, and I hopefully have a good eye for what's good and what kids want to wear.
You do. I can tell. I mean, it looks like such a fun job to go out and shop for these.
Well, this is where bringing your kids into what you're doing. I have my daughter look at every single line sheet from every brand, and I ask her, what do you like? What colors?
Yeah.
Not only for you, but how about your friends who have different styles? What would they like? What color? What so just asking my child really was so helpful and influential in my decisions.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that you have things that are kind of traditional and sort of like classic Christmas picture. And then you have things that are super fun and flirty and fashion forward. So I can see so many different kids being so excited to get these dresses. I mean, I used to always watch Say Yes to the Dress with my daughter.
Oh, yes.
And I feel like shopping with her on your website would be like, shopping for a wedding dress because they're all so special.
Yes. Well, that's the whole point. You want your kids to feel empowered and excited about what they're going to wear for their birthday or for their special occasion, their graduation, their piano recital. We get rentals for all sorts of things. Yeah,
where they're looking
I wouldn't even
nice
think about
dressed up.
Talent shows. Yeah. So you want to empower them, make them excited about what they're wearing and what they're doing.
I mean, it's such a brilliant idea because what I do is not very economical. I buy 10, 20 dresses at this one place I know I can return, right? But then it's putting me out and they're never going to wear it again. And you can take 3 choices from yours and offer them and say, which one would you like? Which one would you wear? And you get to send it back. So you're saving the planet. And I'm not running around town 4 hours returning.
Right.
It literally is
convenience.
It's
so
convenience.
Easy.
Yeah. So
do you do any vintage clothing? Because I bet you I have a lot of clothes for my children.
She has a brown velvet blazer. She would like to.
I will take, and the brown jacket. Yes, we'll take them.
It was a great jacket. I mean, honestly, yeah. But to spend that much on it.
Yeah.
Well, so when you're getting these clothes for these, do you go in the higher end? Does the designer provide them to you, or do you buy them? Some of the things are very expensive that parents might say, oh, yeah, I want my son to wear that brown velvet jacket for his photo. Mm-hmm. But it's a $300 jacket.
Right, when you can rent it for $49. So we buy wholesale and we rent 70% off the retail price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And do you work with specific, do you have new designers? I mean, do you reach out to people who are just getting into it?
Reached out to just what I personally liked and what I could see my daughter wearing, but really the top emerging brands worldwide. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we get our designers are from Taiwan or India or a lot of European brands.
Well, since you're online, do you rent internationally?
Not yet. I think it's the shipping cost. We do get orders for retail internationally, but not for rental.
Mm-hmm.
How many people work for you?
Wow, we're a startup.
You and your daughter.
Besides your daughter. Who's not officially employed, everything. By the way, everyone knows.
She's in the warehouse doing dry cleaning. Yeah. So there's a team of us. I would say there's 7 of us who believe in the vision and the company. So just helping with SEO and marketing and the technology.
Are there other moms?
Yes.
That work for you?
Yes. Everyone's a parent, and not just moms, but dads.
Oh,
Nice.
So, yes. Yeah.
That's great.
Yes, I've single dads. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That a friend introduced me to for like technology or SEO who are on the East Coast, and even a copywriter. Yeah. So
That's so cool.
That is
it's right, because dads get it too. If you're like, as a single dad, you have to be hands-on. I think if you're married, maybe not as much, but when you're, single, you have to take care of your child, you're understanding how quickly they're outgrowing their clothes. What are you going to do with them?
Yeah.
So they're here to support.
So there's a lot of moms out there that may have to share custody back and forth, and I don't know if that's your situation, but how do you this is great for packing or renting or talk to us a little bit about that, because, my children are older, and so I don't have that going on, but I can imagine a lot of our listeners, this is a thing. The packing, what are you going to wear on formal day? Do you have anything? So it's a lot more complicated than people think, and especially if you have girls, because they need double, triple of everything. And then when it's a formal day, which was yesterday for us, I was like wondering, are you wearing a paper sack to formal day? Yeah.
I feel terrible about this with my daughter because she is back and forth. We share custody.
Yes.
And half the time she doesn't have her books or her shoes for dance. Yesterday she went to dance without her dance shoes.
It's almost impossible.
Without her dance clothes.
Right.
We're like, it's stressful. I'm not going to lie.
Right. There's times when my kid will wear 2 different cleats to soccer practice. But I bring it up because it's a thing. And so your business could be super helpful to this, particular situation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Single dads.
Yeah.
You need help for her special
Rent
occasion
something.
or his special occasion. Yes.
Yes.
Rent something.
Yes.
Look, we do the laundry too, so
exactly.
so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
especially as a dad. Yeah,
For sure. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
That's something that I think a lot of people would wonder.
Yeah.
What do you do? So.
Well, and also, what does she do when she's not with you working? She's going to be a little bored over anyway, we won't get into that. I have sons. So is it more for girls? Because you can find really interesting, cool outfits. There's very rarely do you come across the herringbone suit for your son. So how does it balance out?
We have boys. We have some really darling boy suits on our platform, some tuxedos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely get rentals for boys.
So if you're selling to the South, are you selling the outfits for some of the boys in Louisiana, Mississippi? I'm forgetting the name
Oklahoma,
of what
Florida,
they're called. The smock.
Oh, the smock? No, we need to get
Oh.
some of those.
Okay. This is a very big thing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that is a big thing.
I love it. I need to take a trip.
I think I just grew your business.
Yes.
Yes.
You're hired.
Yes. Her people will be in touch with your...
I know, right?
No, that's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
That's an awesome
yeah.
idea.
Okay.
Well, this is just amazing. This is terrific. Tell us, everyone, where they can find Stylette online and where they can find you on social media.
Stylette.com, and our social media is Stylette Kids.
Well, awesome.
And also, we were just on Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch Show. So
that was my next question. Please tell us, like you said, I'm talking to other investors. I'm pitching it. Tell us a little bit about that real quick.
Gosh, I feel that I got lucky when I was in school, because it's not as easy as that by any means. So definitely, and especially during the times we're in now, it was the pandemic, then there's a war, and now it's inflation. It's just been the most interesting last couple of years.
Right.
And that's where you really have to have like that faith and confidence and don't like tune everything out, tune the news out, just like believing your vision and keep moving forward. But yeah, so we're actively fundraising, whether it's like that's pitch competitions, angel investors, meeting with VCs. I do a lot of networking. I'm always out and about. It's definitely, like I tell my daughter, your network is so important, and start now.
Yeah.
Child abuse. I'm like, you gotta start now. Those friends you have in school.
Yes. Yeah, at 8 years old. And any listeners out there who are investors, also get in contact with Sheena here. Well, Zoomer moms, do you all have any other questions for Sheena?
We need to trademark that. I love
that elevator pitch. Is that the one with Nicole Walters?
Yes, correct.
So we just saw her at she was speaking at something that we just saw her. I met her recently. What a cool show. And I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm trying to get my stuff up there for a couple of years now, but COVID affected me as well. So hearing your story is pretty inspirational. I mean, just, switching gears and landing your feet and just, keep plugging along. I mean, I think a lot of women, and I'm not a divorced woman, but I think there is a lot to that. Like, women want to go out and make their mark. And I think that our environment in our country right now is very pro, like, go out there and get it. And so I think there are a lot of people like you and me, and we talk to a lot of women on this show that have just gotten inspired by something. And so I think that's really cool. And so I guess one question is just what do you think your biggest hurdle was to have the confidence to take the step? I mean, I know you talked about community and you talked about, support and so on and so forth, but like, besides the support, just like, it takes a lot. I mean, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of, like, you're digging into a lot of stuff you don't know anything about. Like, I'm digging into a ton of technology and security and because you're dealing with taking people's payments and everything. Like, what was the biggest, just like, that you had to overcome to get off the ground?
I feel that's every day. Every day.
That's very true.
There's new challenges. But just being in the startup world, there are a lot of resources for women now that probably weren't there before, whether it's crowdfunding or other female investors or support groups. I was very fortunate to be part of the Tory Burch Foundation program, which was really massive and empowering us and providing classes and tools to move our companies forward. So there are a lot more resources now than there ever was before. So I think it's a great time as a woman to believe in yourself and create your vision, and you'll find those resources. And there's women out there willing to help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That is great.
And we deserve it, by the way.
That's all my friends all about you. So I'm gonna definitely do my part to put out the word. So because I think what you're doing is amazing and so inspirational.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I mean, make no mistake, you weren't lucky. You worked and made it happen.
Yes.
And, no excuses.
Absolutely.
You went out there and chased a dream. You weren't listening to other people who may be super critical of you, whether, that was your ex-husband or friends or chatter outside.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank God for the blinders and that you did it.
That's
it's
right.
amazing.
Yeah.
No,
And lastly, I was going to say one last thing, knowing that we deserve it as well. And like, men know that they deserve success and they know that they deserve wealth. But as women, we still have issues with money, I think, and like really knowing that we deserve to be successful, especially as moms, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's why we're here to support each other. That's why we have the Moms Club. Yes. And women all over America need to band together and work together to support each other and help do exactly what you've done. You are a true inspiration, and I hope that
oh my gosh,
the
thank
women
you so much.
across America that listen to this will take your story, and some young single mom at graduate school right now will, go forward and do some great things. So. And then they can, too, have the success of being on the Moms Club with us.
I love it.
Sit at this table, too, someday. So, no, that's
full
great.
Circle. It's
and
great.
you and Elizabeth, we're starting Moms Club chapters all over the country. And see, you and Elizabeth, you already met each other.
Yes.
You're going to
There you
know each other. You can start, we'll start in regionally, Southern California. And then we'll
Yes, I love it.
So
I love it.
That is great. Well, thank you, Zoomer Moms, for joining us today. And thank you so much, Sheena. We
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much
you
for
coming in
having
and
me.
being with us
Yes.
today. And we would like all of you listeners out there to check us out on Inside the Moms Club on Instagram and on our website. And we have some exciting news. We are going to be giving away some great products and prizes. And who knows, you might even, get a free rental. Who knows?
Yes, of course. And yes, we're definitely give a free
Special
rental.
occasion coming up. You might
Yes.
you might win that too. So that would be great. So check us out there. Well, as always, the time has flown by, and we will be back next time with celebrities and extraordinary women just like you. We know your me time is precious and valuable. Thank you so much for spending it with us. We'll see you next time inside the Moms Club.
Toodles.
Bye.